In this video, we are going to 4 different retail stores the day the Nintendo Switch 2 came out to see what games can we go out and actually pick up without any pre-orders. I didn't pre-order any game whatsoever for this sake of this video, so let's go ahead and see what we can find. First stop was Best Buy, where I made my way back to the electronics section, and honestly, there wasn't much Switch or Switch 2 stuff. There was Xbox, PlayStation, and all the way back in the back, you can see these shelves are pretty bare. They had a lot of Best Buy's own brand on things for like accessories, but then I ended up looking in the games where I ended up finding Mario Kart World, which I ended up picking up, as well as Split Fiction. I love picking up physical games and collecting them as well as playing them. So, of course, I had to get a copy of Mario Kart World here. And then I ended up looking around some more, but they didn't have any Switch 2. So, all I did was end up grabbing the games because I already got my Switch 2 from here at midnight. And then I wandered up to the front here to pay for all the games and check out. And then I noticed they actually had a few back behind the counter, which was interesting. But I ended up checking out and getting out of here. So far, so good. The first stop, I actually found Switch 2 games, which I was a little afraid that I might not be able to. But we did end up picking up 2 games, which is totally awesome. And the first one, you all know, Mario Kart World. This is the game that everyone wants. This is the reason the Switch will probably sell a ton of copies. And so far, I've played about 5 or 6 hours worth of this game, and I've been having a ton of fun with it. But then I also ended up picking up Split Fiction. This is a couch co-op game that looks like a ton of fun. It's from the creators of It Takes Two and Brothers and a few other games like that. So when I saw this is coming to the Switch, I had to grab it so I can play it with my wife. But so far, I was pleasantly surprised that we found games. I was a little afraid we might show up and there wouldn't be anything, and then this video would have been for nothing, but at least we ended up with 2 great games that I've actually been wanting to pick up. These were like top of my list, so let's continue on and see what else we can find. Which led me to Walmart. I was hoping maybe we could find something here that was worth it, so I wandered into this retail store here from the beginning. And honestly, I didn't know how Walmart was going to be. They did actually a really good job on their pre-orders. Their pre-orders even included snacks, which I thought was awesome, and they went well above and beyond. But then I made my way to the electronics section and the video game section, where I looked here on the left first because that's where most of the stuff was. And I noticed there wasn't anything here for the Switch 2. Except I did end up finding like 10 consoles here at the bottom. And then I turned around and noticed there's a few Switch 2 games here. And they were kind of still remodeling this section. So I kind of understand and forgive them for that. But honestly, there wasn't much here back in their video game section. So I didn't end up picking up any games from this one. They only had like 6 or 7 games. And 2 of them we just picked up, and the rest weren't on my list. So I got out of there pretty quickly. Unfortunately, I kind of thought maybe they would have more, but they didn't. So let's go a few stores down to GameStop and see what they have. So I made my way into that GameStop store, which was just a few stores down because they're in the same shopping mall as that Walmart was. And I made my way in there, opened the door, and wandered in. And right off the bat on the left here, right when you open the door, was where their Switch 2 section is. And honestly, this one was pretty small too. Up at the top, you could see there was like maybe 10 games there, but honestly, not much, which is kind of a little bit of a letdown. But I wandered around for a little bit more to see maybe if they had any consoles or anything. And they did not, which kind of surprised me because everywhere we had been so far already had. But again, we're kind of striking out here. The Best Buy had some stuff. Walmart didn't. GameStop didn't. We have one more stop being Target. And honestly, I kind of expected GameStop to have more games than they did. Maybe because they had a midnight launch, a lot of people came in and bought them already. So maybe they sold a bunch beforehand. But there wasn't really much in stock, but it was kind of day one, so I kind of figured it. But enough about the GameStop. Let's go into Target and see what we can find. So I headed into Target in a search of Nintendo Switch 2 games, and I'm really hoping they have them. This is the only store that I don't think was doing like any kind of pre-order in the store. It was all like shipped. So I'm interested to see if there will be any video games here. But I turned and walked towards the video game section, and that's when I noticed this standee stocked full of games. I thought about picking up Cyberpunk, but I held off for it, and I didn't pick any of these Zelda games. I think maybe I'll pick them up later, but not right now. Then they have some Joy-Con 2s here, the Pro Controller, which I already got from Walmart, and the camera itself. Then I ended up going to the other side where they had a few more games. Yakuza 0 Director's Cut was on my list, as well as Street Fighter 6 and Sonic X Shadow Generations. So I was glad to see more games that were on my list that I didn't have already. Then I made my way to where the normal end cap was, and there weren't any Switch 2 games there, which kind of surprised me, to be honest. And then I turned the corner and saw they had about 10 to 12 consoles there as well, which was interesting to me, considering I still haven't gotten mine from Target, but that is what it is, I guess. Then I started checking out the accessories where they have even that Hori camera, which I thought was pretty cool. They also had a case down there, which I'm still undecided on what case I'm going to get, but they did have a few accessories here and there. But ultimately, I only ended up picking up these 3 games. So, of course, I ended up checking out, paying for them, and walking out through the parking lot, and ended up picking up 3 games that have been on my list, and kind of games that I think are either games that people will probably pass on for now because some of these came out on other systems, but I never played them, so I figured now's a perfect time. And that being Shadow or Sonic X Shadow Generations. I never ended up playing this, but I wanted to, and I realized something when I bought this. It actually has an instruction booklet, which is cool to see. Not many Switch games had it, so seeing that in the Switch 2 game was really awesome. And then again, I ended up picking up Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. I've never played this series, but when I went to the Switch 2 event, I got to demo this for like 20 minutes and had a ton of fun and said, yeah, I'm going to need to pick this up. And then last but not least is Street Fighter 6 Years 1 through 2 Fighters Edition. This is again another one of those games that I probably wouldn't have picked up, but I did play this at the Switch event and I had a ton of fun playing it. I think myself and my wife will play this and will enjoy it. So I was pretty glad to pick up these 3 games from that Target store because I wasn't quite sure if we would find much considering how many were at Walmart and GameStop. But overall, I feel like I did pretty good. Picking up 5 games that I wanted was a lot of money, and I've been saving my money for this. So thankfully, I was lucky enough to be able to save enough for this. But I ended up picking up some games that I'm definitely looking forward to playing. Again, I've played Mario Kart a bunch and have been having fun with it. I think this game, as much as people don't like that it's $80, I think this game is worth it. If you're going to play this for the next 7 or 8 years, like we did Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was a Wii U game, people don't have a problem paying full price for that on the Switch, but this being $80, okay, enough about that. I know this is expensive. However, I'm really enjoying it so far. And then these other games, I can't wait to play, so I'm glad that I got these. But what do you think? Did you pick up a Switch 2? If you did, comment down below what games you bought with it, what accessories, all that stuff. But also, make sure you're subscribed because there's a few more videos I've got about the Switch 2 that I think you're going to want to see. I've been having a ton of fun with it. I definitely think it is everything that everyone asked for the Switch Pro to be. So we kind of got what we wanted there. And I feel like I'm really anticipating some of the games that are coming out. And I got basically most of the games that I want for day one. So I'm happy, but I want to know what you think. Comment down below and let me know. But I'm gonna get out of here. I've got some games to play, so check that video out if you haven't already. And what do you think about the Mario Kart World dilemma? People complaining about it, but I'm kind of confused because the same thing happened with the Switch and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But enough about that. Comment down below and let me know what you think. But I'm getting out of here, so check out that video out if you haven't already.